Hello, everyone,
Hello, everybody.
and welcome to Heal My Marriage podcast. I'm your host, Sarah,
And I'm Pedro.
and we are back with another episode for you today, this week.
Season 6, episode 7.
That's right, season
See,
5.
season 5. Sorry.
What you- I ain't know we started a new season.
No, it wasn't. I'm still laughing at what you did, what you said a few minutes ago. You want
Yeah.
to tell the folks what you just said? Because I want to put it on record.
Oh gosh.
I want to put it on record.
Anyway, real quick before we put stuff on record. If you following us here on YouTube, Business Radio London, in the platform that you're listening on, please give us a follow and a share, and share with someone that have never heard of our podcast. You never know who we're reaching, so we want to be able to connect with everyone near and far. So thank you so much again for joining us on Here My Marriage podcast. And we are now at 9 o'clock. We are now Saturdays at 9 o'clock on Adventist Radio London.
9 p.m.
9 p.m. where you will hear us here on Adventist Radio London as we talk about marriage and all these other things that goes in relationship.
Yep. And I also get a couple of guests on, which we're working on
Yes, in due time.
in due time.
So
Yes.
today's topic today will be, where do we draw the line and start healing? That's the topic for today.
You said it like I was supposed to come in and say something. I still want to be put on the record. I told you. You don't want to talk about that. That's
I
okay.
don't
We'll
care.
leave that
We can
alone.
talk about that. Go ahead, honey. What did you want, Peter? I want to put some on the record. What
My
is it?
wife, before we got on the show, we was talking. You know, my wife is
Sorry.
being a woman. So, you know, they have the woman situations.
We have our monthlies.
How monthlies, yes.
You know, you act
And
like
so,
you know
okay, you have
disease.
your monthlies, you know, and
It's
you're like,
not a
well, I'm wearing,
disease.
I know, you're like, I'm trying to be, because, you know, okay, fine. She, you know, monthly, and she's like, I'm sitting on the pad, and I'm uncomfortable, and I'm like, well, then go get comfortable, then come back. No, I'm gonna do it now. I said, okay. Then she's like, well, you know, I was like, well, I just wear the pen. She's like, well, if you start, anytime you start wearing the pen, I'm gonna get a
I
divorce.
said, you start wearing the pen, I'm done.
That's right, you're done. That means you're gonna get a divorce. So I want that put on record.
Oh God.
That she's saying that if I start wearing the pen, because I was like, yeah, I wear the pen, and then she's like, oh Lord, you probably use it go into the pen. Oh yes, I would. Why
cool.
not? I want to see how it feels.
No. Leave that for the babies and and the older people that can't hold their bladder. Come
Well,
on.
there's some people that have to wear them, you know, because of medical reasons.
That's true, but you don't have a medical reason.
Yeah, my medical reason is I'm old and I'm lazy.
Oh my gosh. You are bad.
Okay,
You're
no,
bad.
that's not a medical
Anyway.
reason. I admit.
Yeah.
But you know, anyway, whatever.
Thanks be to Jesus, you can still go to
But
the
see,
toilet.
like you said, you're done. Okay, I got it on record.
Oh my
You're done.
gosh.
That's what I want on record. So now there'd be no, you know,
Oh my gosh.
no mistakes, no confusion.
No confusion, no
Mhm.
mistake.
Actually, that's all I gotta do to get rid of you.
Oh
Anyway.
gosh. Hey, that's all we need right there. Because I could have cleaned up after you've been and did all that. No, that stuff stink too. So no.
Wait a minute. I didn't say I was gonna do everything in the depend. I just gonna, you
No,
know,
I'm just saying.
go
I'm
number
not doing
one.
it. So,
What? Hey, wait. I didn't say nothing about.
I'm just saying, since you brought it up.
That'd be rashes and oh no.
Oh goodness. Get you some baby powder, you'll be all good.
Will you put it on for me?
Anyway.
Is that drawing the line?
Yes, it's drawing the line. Drawing my line, I would say.
Okay.
Shoot.
We're gonna leave that alone. Okay, well, I digress.
You are crazy.
What? You know what that started it?
Mm.
Because I even said, you know, I think we should come. There should be like we have so many different holidays now. We should have like a week put aside for women.
Really? Like what?
I don't know, like maybe send you away for a week.
Send the women away for
yeah, when you're on your monthly, because when you're on your cycle, because I swear, like I would pay to send you away for a week so that the house could be peace and quiet.
Oh my
than deal with you through the
trying
week.
to make it seem like I'm an issue.
You're not an issue, but you're just so moody.
Oh, well, I'm sorry.
You just, and it's just like I don't feel like when I come home from work, a long day of hard work, and I've had a long day, and then I got to walk into your mood. I'm like, I can handle it, but if I some days I wish I could just shut my brain down, and I can't do that.
Well, guess what? You need to handle it.
Well, hon, I'm gonna start figuring out a way I can send you away for a week or so.
What you need to do. You need to handle it.
I do handle it. I walk away.
Okay. Well then,
And I say, I love you. I'll talk to you later.
okay. So there you go.
That's what I do.
There you go.
Yeah,
There you
but
go.
I'm gonna find a way to send you away.
Okay. Where you gonna send me?
I don't know. Where you
Okay.
want to go? Paris?
No,
Europe?
I go to America.
That's too much money. I'm sorry, I
Mm,
can't send you to America. Ticket's too high.
I'm not going to no Paris.
I need to send you somewhere that's cheap, like £100 for the round trip ticket.
Okay. Well,
Hmm.
I don't know. I really don't know. I haven't really
Now,
thought
when you
about
get there,
that.
you got to figure out the hotel and stuff and food. I'm just sending you there. I'm not paying for nothing else.
You wrong. You ain't sending me nowhere and give me accommodations.
Ah.
You gonna give me
I didn't say
accommodations.
nothing
You
about. I didn't say
crazy. You ain't
nothing
gonna finna
about
do
accommodating.
that.
I said just send you away.
Nah. It do not work like that, sir.
I said just send you away. I didn't say nothing about accommodating food. Nothing. I just said send away.
No, it don't work like that, sir.
Yeah,
Oh my
you
god.
walked right into that one. You didn't think about that, did you? Mhm.
Whatever. So guys,
All right, we're gonna get. When do you draw the line to start healing?
I know.
Yeah, I mean,
Go ahead, Pedro. Go ahead and
so
pray for
what?
us before we get started.
Yes, ma'am.
There you go.
All right, Heavenly Father, we thank you for another day that you have brought us together that we can have a conversation about marriage and healing and drawing the line. We ask, Lord, as the words that come out of our mouths, that it will be that of you and that you would show us and tell us what to say and what not to say. And that, Lord, that somebody listening will get something from this conversation. For this, I pray in your holy name, as we will too. For this, I pray in your holy name. Amen.
Amen. All right. So as I came across this clip on Instagram, and it was talking about when do you draw the line. They had more of a different type of topic, but I put, where did you draw the line
You
and
put your own
start
spin on it.
right and start healing. Um, hurt, things in marriage happens, infidelity, um, abuse, mental and physically,
Lying,
lying,
cheating.
cheating, um, a lot of things that goes on in marriage that can cause a person to stay in a position of hurt. But when do we start healing from this hurt? When do we let go? Um, and so specifically, he was speaking on, like, if someone cheat in your relationship, when do you say, if you accept the person back after the things after the infidelity has happened, or after the abuse has happened, when
He was
you
talking about cheating.
right, but he was talking more about cheating, but he did bring that up as well. So when you if you choose, if a person or spouse or choose to say, okay, I want to work this out, let's see what can happen, let's see what we're going to do we continue to bring up the past? Do we continue to say, this is what you did? This is why I feel the way I feel. This is why I'm having these insecurities. This is why I don't trust you. When do we draw the line and say, you know what? I know these things happen, but let's start the process of healing. But if you don't do that, if you don't start the process for healing, you keep bringing up the past, how can you move forward?
So everything you just said, I have a different.
You
I
have a
probably just
different,
say yeah, but just a whole lot quicker.
right,
Pretty much, if the person starts to show improvement on the problems that you are having,
right,
when will you stop bringing up the past to the person?
right.
That's what I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when will you stop saying, okay, you did this, but now I see that you're improving.
Mm-hmm.
But now that you're improving, now I'm going to still bring it up because I want to win an argument, or I want to, I want to prove something to you. Or I just want to bring it up because I'm still not forgiving you.
Right.
So it's like, I think sometimes we have to look at what are some of the factors of why you still bring things up
Well, some people bring
and
it
why
up.
you won't let it go.
Well, let's say the cheating situation. Let's say your spouse cheat on you, and even though you have taken them back, it's in your mind, would they do it again? You know what I'm saying? Would they cheat on me again? They did it once before, maybe they'll do it again. Do they really love me? But I really do believe true forgiveness allows you to not think that way.
I think true forgiveness and the fact that you have to look at what role that you have to play
Mm-hmm.
in that happening. Because see, I think sometimes we get into this habit of where we try to blame the other person for the issue. So if you cheat on me, I blame you. Say, well, you cheated on me. I ain't do nothing wrong. So that's why you keep thinking and saying, oh, she may cheat again. I may,
Or he may cheat
oh, he may
again.
cheat again.
Mm-hmm.
But like for me, like what role did I have? Like we talked about this in the past, and I told you that I was not shocked or thing. I was like, okay, I was partly responsible for you thinking that way. So if I'm partly responsible, if I take away the responsible part that I had,
The
then the
accountability.
accountability, take accountability for the situation, then you won't feel the need to do it. I've never thought once or twice about it after that. I've
Right.
never said in my mind, I wonder if she's on the phone with this person
Right.
talking, or when I'm on the road and you at home
Right.
and I don't get a hold of you on the phone, my first thought don't go to like, I wonder what she's doing. She may be on the phone,
Or
or
what
she may
he's
be up in
doing.
the bedroom, or
Right.
none of those thoughts ever came into my head because
Mm.
I'm like, and then and you and I both had this conversation. If you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it. There's nothing I can do to stop you.
Yeah.
So I don't worry about those. I can't worry about things I can't control.
Mm-hmm.
I think we try to control everything.
You think if a person have made a decision to step away from their marriage, they can make a decision to also be accountable and say, you know what, and make and make a real decision on changing from their ways and actually showing it through actions. But that's if, keyword if, they really trying to change for the good of the marriage.
Oh, definitely. Well, our marriage is based on that.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying.
Our whole marriage is based on that, huh?
Yeah, but it's based on taking accountability,
No, but I'm
changing
saying
from your
exactly. That's what
ways,
I'm saying. Our whole marriage.
not bringing up the past. You know what I'm saying? Bringing up the past can just bring up a lot of old wounds for some people, and they'll never be at the starting point of the process of healing to make their marriage better. If they still stuck, oh, this is what you did, this is how I feel. When do you draw the line to say, okay, all right, yeah, this happened. You know what has happened. You know how it made you feel. You know all of these things. When the thing is now for yourself, the forgiveness is then for the person to say, if you truly forgive the person and you truly want to make your marriage work, you have to say, you know what? Yes, I've forgiven them. You have to let go.
I know that. That's
You
why I totally get that. That's what I'm saying. Our marriage, our whole the way we started this podcast, the way
hmm
we have started everything, our ministry, the way we have started is all based on everything you just said.
right.
So yeah, it's about both people working together
hmm
to come to a common ground. I can say like when we was going through what we was going through, maybe the first year or so, we still did kind of still throw it back in each other's face.
I think it was brought up too as well.
No, we
Just
brought it back in. We threw it back in each other's face. Don't try. We
no,
did
no. Let me
because
say
we
something.
would
I
get
think
mad
it.
about
No,
something.
I know, but I think it was also brought up in other scenarios in the way of, oh, this is why I'm feeling this way, or this is why I'm acting this way, and this is why and that's why it was brought up. Forgiveness. You can't erase things that has happened.
See, okay,
You
being
can't.
real.
You
Wait, wait, wait.
cannot
I know,
erase
but
it.
being real, Tar, you forgave me, but you didn't forget right away.
No, you don't forget.
Okay, but that's my point. So when we think you were still hurting even after you forgave me. So some of it was brought up out of spite and thing. Let's just call it for what
Yeah,
it's
yeah, it
fine.
was.
We have to work through that. We have to work through that. We
hmm
did.
hmm
My point is that because I don't want people to think that you're supposed to just forget it and get rid of it because it doesn't work that easy.
No, it don't. It don't.
You're gonna hear things. You're gonna still remember some things. You're still gonna be hurting from some things. Like we used to say, like because I would always like break something or hit something or slam something. If I raised my hands, you would jump.
Right.
Not necessarily I was even beating on you because I wasn't doing that. It was just if I just raised my hands,
Right.
you would jump. So if I just kind of flick my hands like that, you would jump.
Right.
Even after the fact, after I
hmm
started to get counseling, after I started to get better, after I, started to
hmm
turn everything I need to turn around. So I used to mentally make an effort to keep my hands to my side
Right.
because that way you would not think. Because as soon as I did that, you automatically went right back to the he's back to his own self. That was a famous thing you used to say all the time. You're going back
mm
to your old ways.
mm
And I'm like, just because I got angry or got mad or got irritated doesn't mean I'm going back to my old ways.
Right.
So it was still like a lingering
Right. And I think,
lingering thing there in your mind, even though you have forgiven me, even though you was trying to forget. But just little, it's just like when we do if you're doing something and then all of a sudden you get like a flashback,
right.
or
Because
just look something just walks by and it just gives you like a deja vu, and you're like, and then you're like, oh man, then you remember, and then it just floods everything back, and then it changes your whole perspective for that
yeah,
moment.
because it's a process, isn't it? It's a process of healing. It absolutely takes time mentally and and spiritually to really forgive the person that has caused hurt, you know, in the relationship, whether it's both of you or one of you or whatever. The point is, hurt has been, you know, presented in the marriage. So now we have, you both have to then, obviously, pray to God and put him first, because forgiveness is a big thing, you know what I mean? And the process of healing is talking to your partner, praying with your partner, letting them know how you feel. I don't think, if you feel in some way, I think it's good to talk about it, to communicate it.
Oh, definitely. That's
I don't think it's something you should just hold in. If you got something that's really tugging at you and you feel like you can't get past it, talk to your partner and let them know,
and
look,
keep
this is
talking if you
bothering
don't,
me.
because sometimes you can talk about something and you don't get the response or the answer that you need right away.
Mhm. Mhm.
So you
Mhm.
have to keep talking. We
Mhm.
we we do that. When you
Mhm.
come to me about something, it may take you a couple of times before you finally get me to listen or to understand what you mean.
I must
And
admit.
definitely with you, I definitely have to come back 2-3 times. Because if I get you when you're half asleep, I don't even talk to you anymore like that, because you won't remember.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's so important to be able to not to let things go, because now that, not from my experience, I feel like it's just different now. It ain't like it was before. You know what I mean? I don't even, to be honest, I don't even think about it. You know what I'm saying? And even talking about it doesn't bring any triggers to me. It just allows me to be like, wow, we have came such a long way. You know what I'm saying? Look at where we were to where we are now, and how God has both helped us to get to where we are today.
Yeah, I was
You
having
know
this
what I'm
conversation
saying?
last weekend with somebody, and
Hmm.
we was talking. I said something about our marriage, and they was like, "You're like a is you guys are like the what's the word?
I don't know.
I can't think of the word now. It
Uh,
eludes me." But she was saying like we're like the exception,
right.
because like a lot of things that we did everything is where God has blessed us. I know God has blessed us because we did a lot of things backwards,
Yeah.
and we're still able to make it right. Like
Hmm.
we did things instead of doing it point 1 to 5, we did it 5 to 1.
Yeah. Yeah. We
We
did.
did
Yeah.
a lot, but it's still, even though we did it 5 to 1, God blessed us to still get it at 1 to 5. Like it's
Hmm.
weird, like some of the things in our marriage that we definitely did wrong, that
Hmm.
we would not recommend to nobody.
Hmm.
It still worked out for us,
Yeah.
so we're like the underlying, exception in that sense. But I'm sure there's other marriage couples out there like this
Yeah.
that just don't say, but there's definitely more married couples. We're not the only ones,
Yeah.
because I don't think I'm not saying like we're special, like the only ones. No, there's others out there like us, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying we
Well, yeah,
definitely.
it's a lot of marriages out there that experience cheating,
And
lying.
I'm not talking about. I'm just talking about just the way they got
Yeah,
together,
right.
what happened during the marriage,
Mhm.
going through the things they went through.
Mhm.
Like we just did a lot of things wrong, and I
Mhm.
think that's a testament to us and testament to God helping us.
Mhm.
Because I think sometimes you have to be willing to do things wrong things
Right.
in a marriage so that you can figure out how to do it right.
Mhm.
See, nothing's perfect, so we can't always think we're going to do everything perfect and right.
Right.
It's going to be like, roses and diamonds and pearls, and
And I think
everything is
right.
all, it's just going to work out. No, it doesn't always work out that way.
Mhm. Mhm.
Sometimes you're going to get dirty, you're going to get nasty, you're going to get just totally, I don't want to put the word like wet or whatever. You're just going to pretty much get totally messed up before you can figure out and then work it around so that you can make it better for your
Mhm.
marriage.
Mhm.
But it's
Mhm.
just both people need to work together. Like you said, communicate,
Mhm.
communicate, communicate. There's a number. Active listening, which we've talked about before, active listening,
Yeah.
just things like that. Like we have just having to, and
Yeah. I mean, I would definitely
forgiving
say that.
together,
Yeah.
and
Just
forgiving and not just forgiving each other, but forgiving yourself.
yeah.
Because if you can't forgive yourself, you can't forgive the
That's
next
true,
person.
because you can come into a relationship, or before you even get into a relationship, and you have these thoughts in your mind like, I'll never go through this. I'll never let this person cheat on me. I'll never go through cheating. I'll never go through mental or physical abuse. I'll never through all of these things. I'm never going to put up with that type of stuff. And then when you get in a marriage, you never know what can happen. So many things can happen in a marriage that you didn't think that you would even go through, and now you're going through it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
And now,
So
and now you're mad, and now you're
now
being
you're not forgiving
resentful.
yourself.
You're not, because you're not forgiving yourself. Now you're
Hmm.
resent. Now the funny thing is, now the person is doing good, and they're doing everything you asked them to do,
Hmm.
but because you can't forgive yourself, now you're now is now flipped.
Yeah.
Now you're the aggressor, and the other person is the one that's taking the abuse.
Right.
So it's just a circle. So it goes from they was doing it to you, now you're doing it to them.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that's why you have to be able to forgive yourself.
You do. You
Because if
do.
you can't forgive yourself, you're gonna have a resentment towards that
Hmm.
person
Hmm.
going forward. You're gonna have that dislike towards that person. Because every time you see them, it's gonna make you remember or think about what they did. Or not even that. I'm sorry. It goes from that. Now all you think about is why you let them do it to you.
Right. Why did you allow it?
Right. Why did you
After
allow
you
it?
said to yourself,
I will never
I'll
do it.
never
Right.
do this. I never do this. You just, I always
I
say, don't
I
never say never.
I always tell you there's certain things from my, because people know I've been married before, from my first marriage. That's the one thing I got. I want to say I got more than that, but that's one of the topics that I always got from my first marriage,
Hmm.
was that I was always told never say never.
Hmm.
Because I would be like, I'll never this, I'll never that. And she used to be like, never say never. That's the
No.
one, as I think just popped in my head just now.
Hmm.
That was never say never, because you don't know what you will do in that situation.
You don't.
You don't know. You can say all day long, but you don't know.
Mm-mm.
You know,
Mm-mm.
you surprise yourself. You'd be like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, I can't believe I just did that.
Right. Well, I'm in this situation,
Hmm.
and
I can't believe
now,
now I'm in this
what
situation.
do I do now?
Hmm.
But one thing I had, as we go through our marriage, I think it's so important to build your personal relationship with God and read the Bible, read your scripture, especially the ones that really connect with you. And I think the ones, yeah, I have several, but I had a couple that I looked up that I wanted to share, that I used to pray for me and Pedro in our marriage. And I used to say, Lord, instead of just saying creating me, I used to say create in us a clean heart. Oh God, renew in us loyal spirit within us. Lord, renew your spirit within us so we can be better people towards each other. Yeah, and then it will filter down to our children. So I really do like that in Psalms 51:10, where it talks about Lord creating me a clean heart. And I think when we pray and read these scriptures, we need to make it personal, put ourselves in it. Lord, creating Tara, creating Pedro, creating Keisha, whoever it is, creating me a clean heart. So God can renew your mind. He can renew your heart, so your marriage can be renewed, and then the healing process can start happening. I think that's very important as well. Scripture really does helps us to then navigate the different things that's going on in within ourselves and within our marriage, to kind of help us to trust the process of, yes, it can happen. Yes, healing can happen. Yes, forgiveness can happen. Yes, all of these things can come to fruition if we believe it.
Yeah, I
But we
believe.
have to believe the change can happen within ourselves and with our partner. And then when that start happening, we'll start seeing our partner and ourselves in a new light that we didn't think that we can ever get to. I think that really can happen, but it does take time. I'm not saying it's going to happen boom. It's going to happen. It's going to take time, take day by day. It's not going to be an overnight process. Just like it wasn't a process for all of the stuff to happen. It takes time to get there. It take growth, spiritually. It take all of that for us to mature, to be better people.
I just realized something. So when you say where do you draw the line,
Hmm.
you talking about for both?
Yeah, like, what do you draw the line from the hurt? When do you finally say, I'm not gonna continue to let this take power over me?
Right.
I'm not gonna
So
continue to let this hurt continue to trap me in my mind and in the way I live, because I don't want to let it go.
okay, I'll just so
Right.
people can have an
When
understanding
when 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 do
what
it
you was thinking. That's all.
when do the process start? When do the healing start?
It starts when you it starts when you want it, when you initiate it to start.
Yeah. I mean, we can stay stuck in hurt for a long time and be like, oh, this is what happened to me. Oh, this is this. But then, I guess for me, and I'm not telling people when and how to heal, I'm just saying at some point, for your own mental health, it's good. You're going to have to say, Lord, help me with this. I need to let this go. I can't continue. Some people go to the grave mad still
Oh yeah.
because they haven't let things go. And I think it's not good for us to continue to hold on to things. You know what I'm saying? Like, when do we
Holding
want
the
to,
grudge,
right?
holding the
When do we want to see the light
resentment.
at the end
Yeah.
of the tunnel? Like,
Hmm.
when do we want to see it?
Yeah. I agree. But
Yeah.
then also, because in my process when I said where do you draw the line, it was more like what we were just talking about. So like in our case, like you came to me, you talked to me, you told me what you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
I saw it, and then we had a conversation where we both was like, okay, this is my fault, this is your fault.
Mm-hmm.
Faults, not that it was a fault, but this is my issue, this is your issue.
Right.
Okay, this is what I need you to do in order to stay with you. This is what I need you to do in order to stay with me.
Right.
And then we had to, that was the line that was drawn.
Right.
Then we had to start healing. But then because we maybe not still kind of forgiving ourselves, we were still beating each other up on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
It still took us a little bit longer to get to that point of where we didn't bring up past
Mm-hmm.
problems.
Yeah.
Even for me, saying like, I did this because you made me do it or something like that. I was
Right.
still saying that even after we had that conversation of drawing a line.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So, like do you, even though it may still happen a little bit afterwards, do you just understand that it's part of the process and say, okay, it's part of the process. I know it's got to get better. And then after time, it just start to go away completely.
Yeah.
Where we're now, which is weird though, because in the podcast, we do talk about our past, but we don't bring up the past if we're having a discussion.
Yeah, but if we don't. If we arguing about something, I don't then say this is what you did, blah blah blah, because that ain't got nothing to do with what we.
I think so. I think because we're human, I think every now and then we still do it, but we know it's just no, it's just more out of anger. Because sometimes we get angry, Tara. You know this,
Yeah,
and sometimes you're gonna say things out of anger that you
yeah.
don't mean.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I think now the maturity that we have towards each other, that comment wouldn't affect me like it would have maybe 10 years or 15 years ago.
Right.
So if you said the same thing to me now, as we're having a discussion, and I said something you don't like, and you be like, "Oh, look, you just being the way you used to be back in the day," I'll just be like, "Whatever," like, and, it just would, because you have to reach a certain you have to reach a certain point of maturity and understanding and knowing that, and honestly, like you're very snarky sometimes. You say things to push my buttons. So you're gonna say things sometimes that I know you don't mean, that you're just trying to, and just to push my button, just to see just because you don't like something I'm saying to you.
Right.
So
Or
you
vice
want,
versa.
right. No, I'm talking about from my perspective. So thank
Okay.
you. Thank you. I'm talking from my perspective. Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay.
That you would say something smart
Mm-hmm.
just because I may have said something that irritated you.
Mm-hmm.
So to get back, you'll say something smart or snarky and be like, hmm. And I'm just like, you know what? You only said that because that's how I know I irritated you.
Yeah.
That's how I know I irritated you.
Yeah.
If you say something, I was like, oh, I irritated her.
Yeah.
That's how I know. Because that's the only time that you will do that is
Yeah.
when I push that button. And so, and the reason why it doesn't bother me, because I know that I push that button. Like I told you before, when we have a discussion, sometimes I actually will be thinking, what can I say?
I'm like
If
that too
I
now. I am.
Since when?
I am like that
Since
too
when?
now.
You do
I
not.
am
You
like
got
that
no
too
filter
now.
on your mouth.
Yes,
You
I
will
do. I have
lie.
a filter.
People, shit. You
I
are
have a
lie.
filter in some ways.
No, a filter for what?
In some ways I do.
You ain't done
Not
it
in
yet.
all things,
Mm.
but in some
Well, I
things.
need to see that
Whatever.
filter because
Don't
I
judge.
haven't seen.
Don't judge.
I ain't
The
judging you.
Bible said don't judge,
Or
okay?
yet
Or
be
you will
judged.
be judged
You
the
be
same way you judge the
judged.
person. So
Whatever.
no,
Like
don't
I
judge
said,
me.
I'm not judging you.
Okay.
I'm just going by past whatever. But a lot of times it's like today with the grits. I did that on purpose. Like I was like, You think you make some grits? And he was like, no, I'm not. You make your own grits. Go look at the. You know how to read directions. And I was like,
Yeah, I
oh, I
said
was
you
like,
know how to
what?
read the
I was like,
instructions. All
wait,
you
I'm
got to
not
do
reading. I
is
said, you
read the
make grits.
instruction and make the
I made.
grits.
That's what I did. I flipped it. I said, oh, but you made grits for the kids all for like all week. I only did like 2-3 days. I was like, yeah, but what about your husband? When you gonna think? And then I went upstairs. Like, what did you do? You felt bad? What did you
No,
do?
wait a minute, hold up.
You felt
I
bad. Just
did
say you
not.
felt
No,
bad.
I
Just say
did
you
not
felt
feel
bad.
bad.
Yes,
Number one,
you
I
did.
did
Yes,
not. I
you
did
did.
not. I started to feel hungry. Two different things.
Well, guess
I
what?
started to
That
feel
hunger,
hungry.
that
So I
hunger
said, you know
got
what?
me some
If
grits on
I
my
said if
bone.
I'm gonna cook, if I'm cooking, right, I might as
Hmm.
well just cook for everybody.
Exactly. That's my
Okay.
point.
So
That's my
whatever.
point. So I put it in
Whatever.
your, But in
Mm.
the past, that would have
Okay, so
probably in the past that probably would have caused an issue.
it would have caused a big argument.
Yeah.
But see, you see how the maturity has grown within our marriage.
I don't know.
But
I can talk for myself. I can't talk for you.
but the thing is, really seriously, maturity is very important. And that's where it goes to. I think it's, when we look back at how things is and things that you may experience in your marriage, we can't look as if we got the perfect person next to us. We have imperfect people. We are imperfect people trying to be how God wants us to be, but we're gonna sometimes fall. And we got to be careful what we allow to happen in our marriage, or what we bring in and stuff like that. It's important for us to know whatever you do is going to cause something within the marriage. You know what I'm saying? If you choose to step out of your marriage, just know it's going to be consequences behind that. If you choose to hurt your spouse in any way, it's consequences behind that. We can't do things not expecting consequences not to follow.
Is that well, definitely, because that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
Every action has a reaction.
it does.
So if you do an action, there's gonna be reaction.
Hmm.
It's now based on how do you react to that reaction.
Yeah.
See, I think sometimes we react in the wrong way to the reaction, and then they just become bad reactions after bad reaction
Hmm.
after bad reaction. I think sometimes you have an action, you have a reaction. Instead of a reaction, we need to have an action
Hmm.
that will squash the reaction.
Hmm. But
And then therefore you can start healing and start working through the problems that you're having or the problems that you may be going through.
But what do you do, right? Some people may say, what would you do if a person don't want to deal with it no more? Somebody, if they deal with any type of
I
hurt.
just said to you that even in our marriage, even with me and you, there's days where you don't want to deal with it. So I just wait a minute and I come back.
But I'm saying, what do we tell someone that's listening to this to say, well, he cheated on me. I'm done. I'm not going back. Or she did this, or she left me, or he left me, or whatever. And, if both people don't want to come together to make it work, how do you?
Well, you got based on is at time is that the emotion speaking,
Hmm. Hmm.
or is that real speaking where they really mean it?
Yeah.
So I don't know where they are exactly in that moment,
Right.
because that's moments of where if they're really in that moment, then you try everything you can to make that marriage work. I've been there
Yeah.
where I went back, I
Hmm.
went back,
Hmm.
I went back, and I think that helped mature me for when I met you and we went through the issues and you were leaving.
Hmm.
I wasn't like when you left, I wasn't like I'm just gonna go cheat, or just gonna go do this, I'm gonna go find somebody else.
Right.
I was like, you know what? I'm gonna wait because she gonna be back.
Hmm.
And then if she's not back, I'll find a way to get her back. Like I just, it depends on the situation,
Right.
because it's hard to say what should people do, because every situation is gonna be different,
It
every
is.
relationship is gonna be different,
And not
every
everybody
marriage
gonna
is gonna
want to
be
put up with
different,
certain things.
right? And some people like me, when I'm saying I'm done, I'm done.
Yeah.
I am done. Like when I will fight and fight and fight and fight and fight. The kids will I do it. The kids too. Like I will talk and
Yeah.
talk
Yeah.
and talk, but after a while, the talking stops, and then I'm like, "Where's the belt?" Like
Yeah.
I'm ready to knock heads. I'm ready to
Hmm.
thing. Same thing with a marriage. Like I will talk and I will talk and I
Hmm.
will talk. I will communicate. I will say, "Look, this is the problem. This is the situation. This is
I mean, yeah.
the
I mean,
issue." We actually had that conversation where I said I kept going back, kept going
right. I
back,
mean,
kept
I
going back.
believe.
And
I
after a while,
believe.
you realize it's just not going
Well,
to
I
work.
believe if a person behavior is not changing for the better, and you seeing it, and you trying to do what you got to do, you 100% in, and it's just no way that it's that it's just gonna let up and it's just never it's gonna be no change nowhere, then I don't know.
But let me say this:
You know,
that is true because that's what I'm saying. So it can happen that way.
mm-hmm,
But I'm not naive to say that I still, because the person is acting that way because of something you did to them.
right.
Now they may never tell you what you did to them, so
But
you
that's
may
where the
never
communication needs to
But
come in.
listen to what I'm about to say.
Okay.
They may never tell you what you did to them
Mm-hmm.
because you say communicate, but not everybody communicates.
Okay.
So you have to. I have to look at it like this: I have done something to somebody, right? I don't know what it is, but it's caused them to act this way towards me.
Right.
Now I'm going to go back and say, look, I'm sorry that you're acting this way towards me.
Mm-hmm.
How can I fix it?
Mm-hmm.
But they don't want to communicate and tell me what it is.
Right.
They just want to sit there and be mad about it.
Mm-hmm.
So now I keep asking, what is it that I've done to you? How can I fix it? Can it be fixed? They still don't respond.
Right.
Then you go back and they say, okay, we can work this out. But then the resentment that they may feel causes it to be more toxic each and every time.
Yeah.
At some point, the toxicity is just too much.
It's too much.
So
Yeah.
now I step away. I
Mm-hmm.
say, I can't deal with this anymore. It's too toxic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But for me, still, I know that I don't blame the person
Right.
for the toxicity. I say, you know what? You're just really angry,
Mm-hmm.
but this is not going to go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's still what I know I had a part to play in it. What it is, I don't know, but I know I had a part to play in it because I think both parties have to take accountability because it takes two to tango.
It does.
You can't just say, oh, because that person's being toxic. Well, they're the reason why we're not together.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
my point. It's like you can't be like, oh, we're not together because they didn't want to work it out. No, you had to do something to make that happen too.
Yeah.
You have to have a part to play in that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I'm saying to the people listening is that you have to remember that. You have to realize that you have a part in everything that goes on in your marriage. That one's that working, one
Even
that
narcissist people.
that's a totally different.
It's a
That's a
totally
totally
different
different. Yeah,
situation.
that's a totally different situation.
I'm just
I
saying,
mean,
people
listen, no,
experiencing that as
right.
well.
Listen, I know, but that's now you're talking about people that do it. We're talking about people that are unintentionally
Mm-hmm.
and wanting to make it work.
Okay, we ain't talking
We're
about
not
people that
talking
are
about people
intentionally.
or psychotic.
Yeah.
We're not, or that want to hurt you.
Yeah.
We're not. That's a totally different subject.
Okay.
See, because you bring it in, but that's something that is something that is like a mental issue that they're having.
Right.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
That they are dealing with that
Mm-hmm.
thing. I'm talking about two sane people that are trying to make it work,
Mm-hmm.
but because the other person is so hurt, they can't forgive the person for what they did to them.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're talking about,
Okay.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'm just making sure I'm making that clear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have to, and all I'm saying is that you have to know that it's both parties. It's fault on both parties.
Yeah.
But you do have to draw a line where you say, okay, it's gonna work or it's not gonna work. And when you get to that line, only you can tell when that line is gonna be.
Yeah. That's true.
Only you know when they draw that line. You know
Mm-hmm.
when that line, you had the line, you drew the line, you said, okay, I'm done. This is the line. I'm I'm here, I'm here. On one side, I'm gone. On the other side, I'm here.
Yeah.
Pick a side.
Yeah.
You know,
Basically.
you had a line.
Mm-hmm.
And if I had stayed doing what I kept on doing,
Yeah.
we wouldn't be married right now.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. You know, and marriage is. I always say marriage is hard, isn't it? But it truly is. But it can also be a loving thing as well. If we got two people that's really wanting to see their marriage, grow and see what else God has in store. You know, I don't think people never go into relationships sometimes or marriages thinking that it's all going to go to hell. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think people go to get married thinking that that's going to be the case.
No, they go more thinking it's gonna be perfect and everything's gonna be rosy and
Yeah.
everything's gonna be good and no
Mhm.
issues, no fights.
Mhm.
I really do wonder why. If somebody says if somebody said they don't argue, they don't fight, not even fight like physically, just like have an argument.
Yeah.
This I think is there something wrong with that marriage?
Um,
Underlying
no,
message?
maybe they just
Because
hasn't came across a time where they had a
no, because I'm sorry, because
situation.
most marriages are people are opposite.
Yeah. I don't know.
Most
I think it
marriages,
depends on the
I'm not
people.
saying they're lying. I'm just asking a question.
I think it
I'm
depends
not
on.
saying they're
I
lying.
think it
I'm just
depends.
asking. So people get upset about that. I'm not saying
Yeah.
they're lying. I'm just asking a question
I
because I
truly
feel like
believe.
we're like you and I, we're total opposite.
I truly believe it depends on the people. That's what I think. I think everybody, how people connect to each other, how they communicate to one another. It just depends on the people. It really
Mm.
does. I don't think everybody relationship and how they connect to one another may be totally different. How me and you connect. You know what I'm
I know,
saying?
I
So
know,
I
I
think
know that.
I'm
I'm not
just
saying.
saying
I'm just saying.
it's just a
I
difference.
just believe that. I just I don't see two people thinking everything the same will work in a marriage
Yeah.
because when you're thinking it just is no growth in the marriage. I think you have to have a little bit of a difference of opinion and a different attitude in order to make the marriage work because that's what makes the marriage grow.
Yeah.
That's what makes the marriage grow. If you're both thinking the same in every aspect, it's almost like a business. Does that
Yeah.
make sense? And I know
Yeah.
people are gonna, and maybe I'm saying it wrong. Maybe I need to figure out the medical term or whatever.
Right.
But I just
I
feel
think
like I
sometimes
think
you're
the
gonna
op- I
think
think
alike on
I
certain
I believe
things.
opposites attract more than the same.
Yeah, I think sometimes you're gonna agree on some things, and that's good. And some things sometimes it's gonna be the opposite. I
No,
don't
because
know.
think about it. If we both think in the same way, and then we go to do something, we're doing the same thing, but it doesn't work, then we're like, man, we shouldn't have did
Like, what's
that.
the other scenario?
Right. But if you
Right.
have somebody that you say, I want to do this, and the other person saying, I don't think we should do that because I've either had it done before or I know where it's going to go or
Mm-hmm.
something, then
Mm-hmm.
they say, look, listen to me. It's not going, or let's tweak it. Then it works.
Mm-hmm.
Do you
Mm.
understand what I mean? That's what I mean.
Maybe
Like,
that's just a rare thing. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
I don't know what to say about
Like I
that
said,
one.
I just thrown it out there.
Yeah.
I just wanted to put it. I don't know. And I know somebody's gonna be irritated by what I said, but that's fine. Leave a comment. Tell me what
I
a
don't think
fool I
so.
am,
I don't think so.
and be
I
like,
just think
"You're
I
foolish."
think
But
you kind of thinking beyond whatever you're thinking about. That's what I think.
what am I thinking beyond whatever I'm thinking
I don't
about?
know about the sense of two people thinking alike all the time and never having any arguments and never having any type of dispute. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I think it
Because
just
I just think
depends.
you're around somebody. It's even marriage is like work is like marriage too. You at work around somebody for 25 years. You mean to tell me you never had a disagreement with that person at work in 25 years? You're gonna have disagreements because they're gonna do something that bothers you.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's no way that you could be with somebody for 25, 50
You
years,
got all
20
so basically two submissive people that always
yeah,
submit and never.
and I think that's an issue. That's something wrong with that. It's got to be something wrong with that.
Yeah, I don't
Unless
know.
God has just made you special and it's just a special relationship, which I'm not saying it's not possible.
Yeah.
I'm just saying for me, I'm just like, that's kind of hard to think because just walking in the door, sometimes I can see you don't want to see me. You just the kids are irritated you, you're tired, and you just look at me just like, you know, or I leave my socks on the floor and you come by behind me like,
Oh Lord,
you
the
know,
millions of socks that be
I
out
got
there.
4 pairs.
It was literally five.
It was 4.
Okay, I'm not going into that.
And anyway, I left them all in a pile,
Mm-hmm.
nice and neat pile.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, but like I said, it's just you're going to do something to irritate the next person.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Like it's got to. Anyway, I think I. Do you think having a line of being irritated is a good thing? Am I saying that right? Do you think that even though we get on each other's nerves, do you think that's a good thing?
That we get on each other's nerves
Yeah,
sometimes. I think sometimes it's gonna happen. I mean,
I think sometimes you do it just so you can make up.
I think as you get to know your spouse and know their ways and stuff and things that you don't like and do like, I think it just depends on what it is. The things that they may do that may irritate you. I mean, it's just like in marriage, you're getting to know the person that you're living with. You know what I'm saying? On an everyday basis. And
Hmm.
it's definitely gonna be some things that you just don't like that they do. It can be that they eat too loud. It can be that they they snore too loud or something or whatever. Or they just leave their stuff behind all the time. It's gonna be something that's gonna cause something. But some things are you willing to work through, and some things you're not.
Okay.
That's just what I think.
That's fine. That's your thought process.
Hmm. Yeah.
So, like we were saying,
What's your takeaway from this?
well, I was gonna say my Bible text was gonna be James 5 verse 16, where it says, "Confess your faults one to another,
Mm-hmm.
and pray one for another, that ye may be healed.
Mm.
The effectual fervent prayer of the righteous man availeth much." But I was talking more about the beginning where it says, "Confess your faults."
Yeah.
I think if we both can confess and we both can have a conversation on what we both are.
Yeah. Be like, look, this is what I did. I
No, not
know.
even what you did. This is what I have an issue. This is my fault. This is what my issue is. Oh, you just said that.
I just said that.
Well, I'm trying to think. You cut me off. Anyway, this is my issue. You made me thought. You made me lose my thought.
Oh.
Anyway, I love you anyway. This is my issue, and this is the problem that I'm having, and this is the problem that you're having. But let's pray about it, and God will help us to work this out, and we work together to work each other. Like you help me with my issue, and I help you with yours.
Okay, Pedro. However you want to draw that
But
up.
I'm just saying, I was taught when you talked. I didn't interrupt you.
I took it as
I didn't interrupt you when you talked, did I? You
okay,
just
fine.
talked, and I
Okay,
let you
so what
talk.
I'm saying is, for me, right? If
Mm-hmm.
I'm coming to you confessing our sins to one another, right? I'm like, look, yes, I did this. I know what I said. I know what I did. Taking that's right there, taking accountability. You know what I'm saying? First looking at yourself, knowing you're wrong, right? And while you in that, you telling your partner, okay, how can we fix this now? And then they can go in and then tell you, what they would like.
That's what I just said. You just said in your own
You
way.
said it a different way. Whatever.
Exactly. But
Okay,
that's just what I said.
anyway.
But you didn't.
My takeaway from this is, and I'm gonna end it with a Bible verse as
You
well.
already had a takeaway. You just had a takeaway.
Well, I have one more takeaway. So my last takeaway is it's going to come from the book of Colossians 3:14, and it says, "Above all, clothe yourself with love, which binds us all together in perfect harmony."
I gave you that text.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm gonna blow you up and tell you. That's right.
So, above all of our issues in our marriages, right? I think with God's love and the love that we have for one another, it does bind us together in the end of all of our problems. And, you know, with God, He can, we can live in perfect harmony, knowing that we can work through our issues together, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So that would be my takeaway from this whole thing. From people, we have to um be able to talk to God and go to the word and just lean on him. That's what the word is there for. It's for us to be able to use it to live by and stuff like that. That's gonna help us with our marriage. Yeah, so now we at a part of our show, guys. Hit it, Peter.
You sure?
Yes. Wait a minute. Sorry. There you go. No. Wait, do you know what you're doing? He don't even know what he's doing.
Excuse me, you changed it.
No, Kaya did. So my daughter was down here on the board, and instead of Pedro actually looking, like reading.
Why should I look? Because you already should have the
I'm
voice
just saying,
set up. Hey, listen, don't start with me today, woman. Okay,
very important.
listen, woman,
And
don't
I think
start
it's
with
very
me.
important that you learn how to
I'm literate.
read.
I know how to
I'm
read.
just saying. I'm moving on. Don't look like it today. Have me sounding like a
I'm about to draw a
chipmunk.
line. I'm about to draw a line in your butt because you don't stop.
All right, guys, we're a part of the show where we're doing our cards, and so pick a card in the card.
Yeah, we're gonna do the.
So now I'm picking purple.
Is it purple or is it gray?
It's purple.
It's gray.
It's purple.
It's gray.
Pedro, this is gray. Pedro's colorblind too. Okay. So my question for you is says, and I think this is something that you have to say to me. So the question says, what do you think are my worst qualities?
What do I think are your worst qualities?
Yes.
I think your worst qualities are.
You better be nice.
I'm gonna be nice. Your worst qualities are that you can be very spiteful.
Spiteful?
Yes,
I'm a spiteful person?
you can be. Towards me, you can.
Oh,
You
maybe.
can. You can. When I first met you, you could definitely hold a grudge, and you could definitely hold it for a long time. You can hold it like somebody did something to you, and they was in your doghouse for a minute.
Mm.
It wasn't like, and I'm talking about a year or two, not even just like a day or two. Like they did something to you, and this like, how dare they did that to me? So like you like with me, like your worst quality is that you can sometimes be very, like I said earlier, you can be very snarky. You like if you don't want to lose an argument or you don't lose a discussion, you become very defensive, and then you just become untalkable to, because you would do whatever you have to do to win. So it's like a bunch of stuff. It's like being competitive, is being petty, is being yeah, exactly. You could
Me
be,
petty?
yes, you petty,
Oh.
yes. But I think that's most people in the world.
Mm.
But I think that you can, yeah, that'd be a worst quality, is like you're very competitive. Because even when we play games, you're competitive, and it goes into an argument, it goes into a discussion, it goes into doing something,
Yeah.
it goes into all of that. You then pass it, that competitive, you pass it on to everything else, and then if you'll start cheating on that, on the game. Yes, you will. You're the king, you're the queen of cheating on the game.
I do
The
not
kids,
cheat in
the kids
Uno.
look at you. Look, I just know I was talking about Uno. I didn't say Uno. I didn't say Uno. I just say you like to see
Big
snakes and
game.
ladders, Uno, any board game. You just be cheating. Yellow car, you just be cheating.
Oh
There's a
my
game we
God.
play, guys, where you're driving down the street, you see yellow car, you say yellow car.
Yeah.
She was cheating her butt off last weekend when we was playing that game.
Whatever.
Anyway, she was picking on kind of, if I picked it was green, she'd say, "Oh, that's not yellow." But then another green car, that's yellow for her, but not for me. So I'm saying, like, so yeah, that would be my. That would be, what was the question? Phil, where's
You
it
have
go?
my card.
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that would be your worst quality.
Yeah.
I don't know that you're a loving person, caring,
Yeah.
but you just have your moments. Your competitiveness will allow you to, yeah. I can't talk to you right now because you was, and then you'll just start saying stuff that doesn't even make sense to prove your point. And you know it too, and you'll sit there and you'll stay fast,
Oh my goodness.
for it too. But I'm like, that don't even make no sense. Yes, it makes sense to me. So if it makes sense to me, then it should make sense to you. I'm like, no, it shouldn't. Like, no,
Yes,
that's
it
not
should,
how.
because we are
No,
one.
no.
Oh my goodness. What's your card say?
Well, answer for me. What do you think are my worst qualities?
It's when you being annoying.
Well, how do I be annoying?
You know what I mean? Like I can be talking to you, act like you don't hear me, and and I think that's rude, number one. And when I ask you to, Pedro, could you please, keep water bottles and bottles from by in the room, on the floor, in the bed. Then you have bottles and stuff everywhere, and you have your socks all on the floor. Socks be everywhere, in the couch, on the floor,
They didn't be in the
up
couch.
under
They was on the
something.
floor.
You have them everywhere. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's just, yeah. So, and your clothes never make it to the basket.
Yes, they do. That's a lie.
And they always outside the basket.
No, that's not a.
So you
Not
have too
you
much
just
stuff going on.
lying. See,
I would say
folks, what I say about
I would
being.
say that's
She don't
one of
like
the
what I
things I don't
said, so
like.
now she's saying all this other stuff that's
Yeah,
not
I
even
said it.
true.
I said that. See, I didn't say anything when you was talking about me, right? I took my accountability, which you don't know how to do.
I'd
So
say the
all I'm
socks,
saying,
the bottles.
all I'm
Okay,
saying, do that's all I'm saying. All I'm asking. That's all I ask. That's all I ask you to do. That's it.
you ask a whole lot more than that, so don't.
And him and his millions of cups everywhere, juices and stuff. But I just don't understand it. Like, leave, what I'm saying? Like, throw the stuff away. Like, we have a garbage can in it, or what they call it here, a bin, or whatever they want to call it.
It's a bin.
But what I'm saying is, make it
Doesn't make it
inside
wrong.
of the bin. I'm just saying,
Well,
like,
you make no. One thing I'm not gonna do is let you make people think I just drove around just dropping garbage on the floor and walking away.
No, when it comes to your water bottles or your soda bottles and stuff like that, you leave them all willy nilly. I said what I said. Could you go to your card, please? So now we're gonna go to Pedro card.
What's something frivolous that you don't mind spending money on?
Let me see that.
What you thought? What you thought I was lying to you?
Favorously?
Frivolously, meaning What's something that you really don't need that you don't mind spending money on?
Shoes. I don't mind spending money on shoes, stuff like underwear, socks.
That stuff you need.
What?
Frivolous. Something like I don't know, something like
Can I see that card for a second? The card that you just had. Yeah. No, the other
no.
one. Your card. Go ahead. Now, what you said?
Something frivolous. Like I frivolously like to buy um keyboards.
Oh.
Like frivolous, like something you don't need.
Oh.
You want to look it up? I'm telling you
Yeah.
what frivolous. That's what I'm talking about, folks. My wife don't think I know nothing.
Mm.
Frivolous is something that you don't need. That is just is not a necessity.
Oh, okay. So not having a serious purpose or value.
Didn't I just say that,
Okay,
folks? Didn't
that's
I
what
just
it
say
said.
that?
I just wanted to make sure.
Everybody listening to the sound of my voice, did I not just say that, or somewhat
Okay,
to
I'm a
that point?
person carefree minded. Okay,
Oh my.
superficial.
Why you act like I don't? I read when I was younger. You know, I read books when I was younger. I don't
Oh,
read books like I used to.
okay.
I
Not
need to
having a
get
serious
back
purpose
into
or
it.
value. I don't know. I like buying. Certain things that I necessarily just don't need, and be like, why did I buy that? Then I bought it. I don't know.
You like to buy brushes and
Brushes.
to comb you. Well, you used to comb your hair, but not no more.
Yeah. I do
I
like
think
buying.
seriously, you buy dye to dye your hair. You
Yeah.
definitely do that. You ain't
Yeah.
dyed it lately, but you get into that groove of where you just constantly buying dye to dye your hair because you don't like the color, so you dye it a different color, dye it, and then next thing you done about 4 different dyes in your hair.
Mm, yeah.
That's as long as you're gone without dyeing your hair.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm taking a break.
How long is that break gonna last? Is the question.
To Kingdom Come.
Nah, that's not the case.
No, until I feel like I want to do it again.
It could be
But
that could be next week.
other than
That
that,
could be
yeah, I
tomorrow.
don't know. I don't. Yeah,
You don't own nothing frivolously that you don't need.
yeah. No,
You don't own nothing that you don't need.
everything I have is what I need.
Okay.
I think.
You want to do a different question then?
Yeah, do a different card for yourself. My card made sense.
We already talked about that, so I don't want to do that one.
Yeah. Hurry up, pick a card, any card.
Hey, you know what? Stop.
Hurry up.
Okay, here goes one. If you could instantly attain 3 skills, what would they be? If you could instantly attain 3 skills, what would they be?
Oh, three skills.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be more business minded. In the sense of opening up business. Um, be a good. I don't know. I do want to be like a traveler, like travel. I don't know if that's a skill
That's not a skill. That's an event
or something to do.
yeah. You need a skill. Like, do you want to be a phlebotomist? Do you want to draw blood? Do you want to be a doctor? A skill. Be a chef. Be a baker. A skill. Be able to build stuff by hand. A skill. That's what a skill is.
I know what a skill is.
You sure you don't want to look it up?
Whatever.
Because you think I don't know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't have nothing else I would want to do besides being. I do want to learn how to be more business minded. I want to know more about opening up businesses. What you need to do. Those type of skills. I want to do that.
That's not only. That's only one skill.
No, but
Okay, so if
business
I,
thing could be you could be
if I,
different things.
okay, if I want to do 3 skills, I would want to. I would want to be better with my hands.
Hmm.
Um, I would want to be better, musically inclined. If I could pick any instrument up, I would just to learn the instrument.
I agree. I do want to.
That's a skill.
I do want to pick up 2 more skills in the sense of piano and guitar.
You can't come back now after the fact.
I just did.
Anyway, like I said, yep. So like, because I like the piano, but I think I need to have a physical piano teacher. I can't do video. I can't do Zoom and stuff. It don't work for me.
Yeah.
Or even guitar. But yeah, I would want to do that. So I would want to do music, building, be a builder, music, Or another skill, um, heights. Because I'm afraid of heights.
Oh.
Be able to go up high, like do a job that's high up.
Oh, okay.
That's a skill. I think that's a skill.
Yeah, like
I'm afraid of heights. I go 10 feet and I get vertigo.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be my 3 skills.
Yeah.
Yeah. After you bit off my skills, after I have to tell you what to say.
Well, I wasn't sure. I absolutely wasn't sure.
Next time, look it up like you did the frivolous, because you don't think I know what I'm talking about.
I'm just saying, whatever.
Whatever.
Anyway,
so
we have made it to the end of our show, guys. If you made it this far, please follow, subscribe, and share. And thank you so much for listening to our podcast. I hope it was something in our podcast that was able to help you.
Yep. So thank you so much again for joining us. My name is Pedro.
And my name is Tara.
And this is Heal My Marriage Podcast. Thanks again for joining us. Peace.
Blessings, guys.